How great is the NBA? Because we're all lamenting like it's one of the most dramatic Super Bowls ever. How are we going to wait till football season? What are we going to do? And then by like the middle of the fourth quarter last night, Cavs and Wizards, I'm already over it. I'm ready for the rest of the NBA season.
That was a treat, no doubt about it. But every game has not been like that this NBA season.
Come on. Don't start on that Debbie Downer note.
Don't be a basketball grin.
We're going to get into that, but we have some other news to get into in the association where there is a whole lot of chatter regarding a Kevin Love Carmelo Anthony trade with the deadline on the horizon. The New York Daily News cover this morning with the headline, "The King has spoken, bring Melo to me." The Cavaliers look to put an end to the speculation. Here's LeBron shutting down the report.
Can you imagine this team without Kevin Love, LeBron?
Nope.
There was a report in the New York Post today. You're probably familiar with it.
I heard about it. It's trash. And the guy who wrote it is trash, too, for writing that, especially during a game like that. So, you know, it's always about outside noise, and that's just outside noise. For us, we got to focus on what needs to be done in order for us to continue to compete for a championship, and we got who we got. Our GM will do a great job of, you know, figuring out if we need something else, but right now we're in a good place.
A lot of trash being thrown around, Stephen A. Do you believe LeBron?
Yeah, I believe him. I believe him in this particular instance because, listen, LeBron would love to play with Melo, yes, but the report specifically said that LeBron wants Melo so bad, go ahead essentially and push Kevin Love out the door. That's not what he's saying here. He doesn't mind playing with Carmelo. He'd love to play with Carmelo Anthony, but he's not going up there and saying, get rid of Kevin Love, then going in the locker room later on in the day and smiling in Kevin Love's face like everything is all right. Kevin Love is not the kind of guy that deserves such a thing. He's one of those guys, just on a personal level, Max, he's one of those guys that at his core, he's an incredibly decent dude that you don't want to do something like that to. He's the kind of guy that you sit up there and you pull aside, you have a conversation with him if you got any differences, because he's a really good guy. He's a damn good basketball player. He's got skills, but he's a good locker room guy as well. And so LeBron is very sensitive to stuff like that, and that's why I think you saw him speak out the way that he did. I would tell you he's a bit misguided in pointing the finger at the reporter, because he should be pointing the finger at the individuals who probably gave the reporter that story. I've known Frank Isola for more than 2 decades. If you tell me that there's somebody better at covering the New York Knicks and the New York basketball market, I'll call you a damn liar. This dude is big time. And not to mention the fact that he has a multitude of sources. Although I totally believe LeBron that he's right about what he's saying in terms of it not being true, what I would say is that somebody told Frank Isola that. He didn't get it out of thin air. He didn't get it from, whether it's somebody from the Knicks, who I suspect has something to do with it, whether it's an agent who I'm hearing had something to do with it as well, or somebody from the Cavs who communicated with that agent. And I'm certainly not implying that it's GM David Griffin, because I don't think he would do that. The bottom line is that there are a multitude of avenues upon which this story could have been leaked to Frank Isola. Although I'm told by multiple sources it's incredibly inaccurate, and I totally believe LeBron. At the same time, don't kill a messenger here.
Right.
Kill the dudes that are giving him that information, because you got a whole bunch of people that want to create narratives, and more importantly, don't mind bringing dissension and acrimony to the life of LeBron James. He is a consistent target. People get at him all the time. People say false stuff about him all the time. And I think that's what happened here.
We're going to talk about this more a little later in this segment, so let's table what the motivation could be for a source, you know, talking to Isola. I mean, Isola's not making stuff up.
Right.
You're not a respected reporter for years and years and years and years in the biggest marketplace in this country, because you don't know how to do your job.
Right.
And so the question is, do you believe LeBron that the report is trash? In other words, that it's not true? Yes, I believe it's not true. Not that Isola is making it up, but that it's not true.
Right.
And then the question, why would LeBron? LeBron's been a credible source. He's not one of these guys like a college coach who says, how dare anyone ever say that I'm going to go to the NFL? I've made a commitment to this school, and then the next day they're gone. That hasn't been LeBron. He's been straightforward about it. I mean, this is who he is. He's a credible source. So why did he come out this way? He came out his face at Isola. Not only was the report trash, but the reporter is trash, is what he said.
Right.
And that, who knows what goes on between them. I think that's a low blow from LeBron. but I think it indicates a larger issue we're seeing with LeBron. And I saw it starting in the playoffs last year. You know, I talk a lot about him bullying the Warriors and Steph to gain a psychological advantage. And then this year, the way he went at Barkley, the way now he's going at Isola, the message is, I quote Jay-Z from time to time. I just did it on SportsCenter with you, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, but that don't matter. You on First Take now.
Don't bark up that tree will fall on you. That's LeBron's message to the league and the world. Like, I'm minding my own business, but if you bark up this tree, be prepared for the clapback.
Stephen A.,
and that's
before
what
you
he's
respond
doing.
to that, I just want to be clear. So you guys are saying that Frank Isola essentially got bad information.
Yes.
So he reported a bad report that was given to him.
Essentially.
Got it.
Essentially, yes. But also understand that think about the backdrop of all of this. Think about the weeks that led up to this. We all know that that LeBron James wouldn't mind having Carmelo Anthony. We also know that that LeBron James has been on the record stating emphatically that the Cleveland Cavaliers need to improve this roster. I don't need LeBron James nor Frank Isola or anybody else. I have my own damn sources. And I'm here to tell you something right now. LeBron James has been on them to improve the roster, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, there has been some concern about the health of Kevin Love. Nobody is questioning Kevin Love's skill. Nobody is questioning his character, that he's a quality person. Kevin Love could be on my team any day of the week. He's a really good guy, and he's a tremendous player. But there have been questions about his health, which is why the New York Knicks thought they had a legitimate chance at acquiring him to begin with. Then you also have to take into account the shots that LeBron has taken at Phil, because Phil took shots at him. You never know where the narratives could be created to create, you know, some kind of acrimony, some kind of discomfort for LeBron James. This story didn't come out of thin air. There's an agenda here. Now, Frank Isola may have been used as the conduit, you know, to disseminate that information, but at the end of the day, that shouldn't be where...
Or it could be a bad case of telephone.
That shouldn't be where LeBron James' focus lies. It should be on... Who's trying to say that about me and put this on me in case change is made?
Now, look,
Remember
I think there are the source that Isola had probably had ulterior motives, but it could be telephone. Like, you know, in grade school, you could play telephone where you go around in the circle, someone says something, by the time it gets around to you, it's completely changed because people interpret the message. You could see where someone said, LeBron really wants to play with Carmelo, and obviously Kevin Love has been discussed as the exchange that would make sense, particularly if he's not healthy. And so that could get confused. But when you really look at it, it doesn't make sense. Especially, I referenced off the top of the show, maybe the best game in the NBA so far this season, when the Cavs just beat the Wizards in overtime. That was a great game. You know who won that game for? I mean, you could point to Kyrie, certainly, who came up big, LeBron down the stretch. Kevin Love with his sharp shooting from outside, hitting the glass, the defensive rebound that salted the game away at the end. I mean, it sealed the win for him.
Stop right there. You see, this is me you're talking to. You don't get to be that slick, Max Kellerman. Because the Max Kellerman that I remember never hesitates to bring up how much the same Kevin Love struggled during the NBA Finals. Sure. And I happen to know, that Max Kellerman, June is far more important than February. So the fact that he had a great game last night, don't give me that as your argument. I don't want to hear that. Now, I happen to have a lot of respect for Kevin Love, and I'm certainly not implying that you don't. But I do understand. But I do know what you're doing here, and it's kind of slick. I remember you repeatedly pointing out how you were very disappointed in his offensive output in the finals.
Yes.
So don't give me some 39-point effort on February 6th.
He is more integrated into the team's offense than ever. That's what they need. They don't need an ISO scorer on the Cavs. That's not their biggest need. Kevin Love fits well, and furthermore, even if you believe Carmelo Anthony is a better player than Kevin Love at this point in their careers, right now, if you believe that, and there'll be that opinion will be divided among basketball people about that.
It is divided.
Even if you believe that, though, Kevin Love's now in his third season on the team. They just won a championship. The way he just played against a team they may see in the Eastern Conference Finals, though I agree, the Warriors series is most important, indicates that more important than just who's better, especially if it's close, it's who fits better and who's been integrated into the offense over the last 2.5 years.
This is not your fault, but let me say this to you. You're missing something. And the thing that you're missing, and I'm very, very shocked knowing the capitalist that you are, that you would miss this. You're missing money. You got to remember, they invested $113 million into Kevin Love. The Cleveland Cavaliers can say whatever they want. if they truly believe that Kevin Love's health is that compromised, they don't want that money on their books. You got to remember that, too.
Sure.
So that's very, very important. So, again, from a basketball perspective,
health is an X factor. I concede that.
I understand that. I'm just saying it's important to recognize that these stories are not coming out of thin air about Kevin Love. But I want to emphasize it's only because folks are questioning his health, not his game, not his character.
Back looked pretty good last night.
It did. Yep. It did. It did.
Let's leave it there. Coming up a little later in the show, we've got a good barbershop debate for you. We're going to ask you who's the best in their sport, LeBron James or Tom Brady?
Why I got to be barbershop? Why can't it be salon?
Oh,
why
it's
why
hair
can't it be
salon.
salon?
You think they're talking about it in the
You're right.
salon?
It's a hair salon. It's a hair salon debate.
Maybe in the saloon. I don't know about